What's up, fellow Lords of Gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Fight. So, today I want to jump into the new update for the symbiote invasion, which, to be honest with you, is absolutely amazing. A lot of stuff to go over, but in this video, I want to specifically focus on Gorr. But I'll walk you through some of my first impressions from some of the other content, especially the newest game mode that we just got added. I don't know why they decided to remove Squad Battle. I think this squad battle was a game mode that I think was fun. It had some usage, but I think there was a concerted, not a concerted. I think there was no, I think there was a concerted effort by the devs to improve this mode in the best way they know how. And the funny thing about this update for this game mode specifically is that Alliance Battle has basically uh, the the ladder challenge inside the battle challenge inside Marvel Future Revolution. So what you have now, or it's like a mix of the battle challenge mixed with the alliance raid. If you were to look at this alliance battle, basically, essentially, you have stages, right? So um, you can see like there'll be stages for them. There's like weekly ranking rewards and score achievement rewards. Most of the weekly ranking rewards are tied to the same kind of materials that you would have got in the previous one, right? Um, but the really cool part is like if you come over here, you can see there's rounds of this, right? So you can start at round one, and immediately on round one, the normal mode has no requirements, and then you go into like extreme and legend mode, and each of these have more significant requirements. They have like, you have to be a human male with a speed type character who has like, fracture or who has burn. So this is really cool that they do this as it goes up. There's like defining requirements that kind of happen along the way. The alliance I'm in is not very active. I think there might be like two or three players in here, but if they were to add more of these type events, I'd probably end up having to find another alliance. But what you can see is like right now, I haven't played this at all yet, and you can see we're at round 13, and then it goes all the way here to round 14. I think I don't know that it goes higher. I'm gonna imagine it does go higher because 14 ending doesn't really seem like a place it is. But I think this is cool that you can essentially do this and get to there. But I'm going to give you guys a separate video, but I want to give you my first impressions about it because I did think it was pretty funny that, 70% of the Marvel Future Revolution workforce has been basically, you know, redirected to other projects, and here we are, and we're basically looking at, an amalgamated kind of game mode from Marvel Future Revolution making its way into Marvel Future Fight. And this is 7 years later. And to me, done better. The rewards, in my opinion, I'd like to see maybe better. I don't know, maybe better rewards, I guess. Like, these aren't bad rewards compared to what you were already getting for squad battle, but I would have liked to see them improve the rewards overall for those. Your weekly and your squad battle rewards are pretty much there, so it, it's weird. It's a different thing now, right? And yeah, we'll end up seeing how this plays out overall, especially with some of the alliances in there. So you can see, like, I'm in Yondu Poppins, and there's nobody really active in this. To be perfectly honest, we're in the top 25.5%, and then you can see some of the top alliances. So the really cool part about this is it will make probably things like this kind of type of content will make people want to play alliance battle or join alliances a lot more. Because right now inside the game, unless you're playing like alliance tournament or alliance conquest, there's not a whole lot of reason that you particularly need to join a strong alliance or make sure that your alliance are strong because they just don't really pan out that way. But anyways, like I said, I wanted to show you guys uh, Gorr, and I want to make that the main point of the video. Toxin, for those who aren't aware, you can get Toxin. Every player actually has the ability to get Toxin. He's available in your 15 stage reward for the season pass. So that's good. They're giving him away for free for 10. If you're not aware of how you should be looking at getting him, you basically want to make sure that you have some of these rank up tickets, whether you have a tier 2 mega rank up ticket, a mega advancement ticket, whether you have, these rank up tickets that you can go along. You probably don't want to necessarily go with this rank up ticket, these rank up tickets, because you're still going to have to hit the other cap of doing it. So, like a mega rank up ticket would be the best way to get him. Once you have those 10 bios, use the mega rank up ticket so that way he's there, and then you could try to advance ticket him. Or, like I said, just mega advancement ticket. I would wait to use a mega advancement ticket because he's an awakened character. You don't know how good he's going to be, how viable he's going to be. So you don't want to waste a mega advancement ticket on a character that might not be that great. I haven't really taken a look at him that much, because to me, I know that Venom and Toxin are probably like going to be, the stars of the update in terms of like, first impressions. But for me, Gorr was what I really wanted. So I would like to see a uniform for him, but that's why we're going to focus on those. But these uniforms for these symbiote characters look absolutely amazing. Uh, you look at Toxin and her uniform, I mean Scream and her uniform, even though it's just really a simple color change, right? It's not a whole lot here. Like it's just a simple color change for her, but it looks amazing. That's just my opinion. Agent Venom, his uniform is also really just a simple color change as well, in my opinion. There's a little bit obviously more detail on his uniform. I think it's probably the look a lot of people wanted for him more than the white costume, but it's pretty cool. Venom's uniform, they smacked that one out the park. Like yeah, King and Black Venom is amazing. And he has a simply amazing uniform effect now that makes him a viable damage dealer and a support character on your team. If you look at his uniform now, he has the activation rate, a 50% rate when hit, applies to all allies. They get a 30% recovery of max HP. That's really nice. And I can tell you right now from using him that it actually does pan out really well. Like it activates a good majority of the time, and especially if you're, because it's when hit. So like you get hit and this ability applies. So any kind of boss that you're doing, you like it's a good use of his skill to make him still viable where that's on his uniform, but you're still getting him as a damage dealing character as well, or a player on a team. So now instead of him just being in that ally support role, you can have him in a team ally support role on your team, on directly on your team, and he's good. I like it. Not to mention, if you notice, to make it even more tempting to you to use it, he has the apply to all allies, the critical damage increase by 30. So getting that crit damage and getting the 30% recovery. I didn't really care about the crit damage because my crit damage is at max already, so I don't need that for most characters. But this guy, this is the guy that we're looking at, right? So Gore the God Butcher is actually in the game, and you can actually see where he's at right now. So the only way you can obtain Gore the God Butcher is if you go to World Boss Gore, World Boss Legend Gore. So this is gonna probably piss some of the newbies off because they think they're supposed to have him right away, even though they're a newbie and don't understand that they have to work towards him. But that's where you're gonna have to purchase it, where you're gonna have to get his bios. You have to actually earn his bios. Gore is actually really freaking good too. He's gonna be a native tier 3. I was hoping that Gore would have been a native tier 5. I mean tier 5, tier 4, but we don't get a native tier 4 inside of him. So we get a physical based attack type character too. You can see he has really high HP, decent physical attack. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Gore can do inside the game. We're gonna go over his skills real quick inside here as well. So you can see they're saying that he's good for arena, he's good for boss battle as well. And so we'll have to see how he plays out. But he is male, super villain, alien, and he is a destruction instinct character. So I think his artifact was pretty decently geared towards boss battles. So I think it gave like an increase of like percentage to villains and to heroes. I think it was. So let's take a look at Gore's skills because I think they did a really great job with Thor. I mean with Gore thematically. What I mean by that is that you'll notice that his skills are kind of like grayed out. So almost like he was in that black and white universe from Thor, Love, God, and Thunder, and he stays within that realm. So almost like he's pulled out of reality is what it is, and he's shadows. Now I'm really happy that what they didn't do with Gore was give him that those abilities for basically where it was like going to be summons, because we saw him using summons abilities inside the movie, but we don't get that here. So his first skill, really nice gap closer. I've been trying to play out with like how far he would gap close. It's a ways away he will gap close, so it's really nice. And there's a lot of hit damage on it. So like you can see here, like there's probably like five characters over here. One, two, four of them. So you can stack up the counts from just the one skill. And he's got about 80 hits on that. So you divide that 80 by four and you basically get the number of hits on there, right? So it's 20, about 20 hits. His two skill, by the way, there's nothing really on his one skill. So if you were to look at his one skill inside here, he gets the 80% chance to penetrate and the paralysis. So there might be a reason to roll through on the one skill. But on his two skill, he gets nothing as well. So it's like incapacitation. So it's going to remove a buff from the active target. But that to me is more like a PvP skill. Maybe that's the reason why I'm saying that he's good for arena. We'll have to see how he plays out. I don't really play PvP like that to be able to determine characters' worthiness inside PvP. A lot of times I'll just auto play PvP, to be perfectly honest with you. Um, but so his two skills interesting because you can cancel his two skill immediately and still rack up all of the numbers from his two skill and his one skill. So two into one makes coming back to one kind of feasible and using. Now his third skill can also be canceled right away, and you'll notice here that it has a decrease all basic defenses by 40%. So it's an ignore immunity effect from there. So what I've realized is you can also cancel the three. So I'm going to let those numbers disappear above their head, and you can see. So when he goes into three, you can see the effects don't happen until uh, they don't happen until about 3 seconds into the skill. So you there one, two, three, and that's when the skill happens. So it's like when the shoot off happens from there. So what you're looking at seeing is which skills are actually applying here. And I'm not at my computer playing this, so it's kind of hard to see the skill icons on my phone. I'm trying a new thing to record on my phone for this game. But you can cancel the three ability as well right after that and go into one, for instance, and still get the skill damage from there. So you could do something like already with just those three skills where you can go two into one, into three, let the damage stack, and then back into one and cancel. And like it's nice, right? So his fourth ability is the one that you have to be concerned about because this is where his damage accumulation is. So you can see it's like 1.2% increase all attacks, all basic attacks, for 1% of pure damage accumulation. Got to look more into that, but he also has the paralysis nor immunity, right? So the important part when you do this is you want to make sure that the effect of the accumulation actually begins and where it begins. So you can see there it starts right in the beginning of the skill, which is great because that means you can cancel out of it pretty quickly, right? Because you can basically go four, hit the skill, and as soon as you see the number pop up above your head, right, those two numbers that just appear, I think they start with like 7 seconds. So you can go here, it's there, and you can cancel out of that skill and go into the next skill, right? So essentially, right now I'm looking at working on that, right? Because his fifth skill, you can see here on his fifth skill, he's at all increased basic attacks, increases, and so forth like that on that skill. So you're getting a nice frenzy buff. But the really weird thing is that the defense down is also on that skill, I think. Nope, it's not. Okay, never mind. I thought it was on that skill. Oh, it's on his fourth skill. So the weird thing is that I'm looking at it, and right now, really weird combination that I'm basically like thinking in my head: two into one into three, delay cancel it, go into five, and then immediately from five cancel into four. Get that accumulation, roll into six. He might end up having a weird ass rotation to do things. Um, I can generally tell where skills are happening. Now his sixth ability, his tier six, is interesting, right? because there's a lot of hits on his skill. So it's almost like you want that skill to play out when it happens. I mean, rolling into four and then rolling into six. I don't know why it doesn't want to pull up the effects of this. Now, one of the things that I haven't done is show this with the SFX animations on, right? So I don't typically do SFX animations. So let's take a look at the SFX for these for his sixth ability, for instance. Not a whole lot difference here, actually. I thought there'd be a lot difference for the SFX. Yeah, I thought there'd be a whole lot difference. He's just straight and to the point. My man just don't care. So that's Gore. I'm really excited about him coming to the him being in the game and him being a playable character. Um, to me, I just think there's going to be a lot here for the character in terms of like overall players. He has some really cool like life or death is really cool because he can basically team up uh with Thor. So he's got some interesting team ups, but I think that's the one probably coolest there. But King's Wrath is also pretty cool in my opinion. Him teaming up with Necrosword, where it's him and Null. That could be interesting team up too as well. So I'll have to play around with him. I'm really really excited about the character. But to kind of finish out the video, I want to show you where you need to obtain Gorr from, and that's going to be inside World Boss. Now you can only get him. I had World Boss Infinity Ultron for the day, but obviously I skipped him on that one. So I've only got one more mission to do for him, but you notice he's here now. So I own 4 biometrics for the day, which means tomorrow is when I'll be able to unlock the character. Now, what I'm hoping for is that they actually give us a World Boss legend uniform for Gorr, where he gets the Gorr the God Butcher look from the comics instead of the Christian Bale. I thought the Gorr the God Butcher from the comics looked better. So this is one of those instances where I would love to see a return to the original, and I hope we don't have to wait for it as long as we did for Agent Venom. So anyways, on to this team. So I want to make a change to my team here because this is not, in my opinion, the ideal setup anymore for Thor. The ideal setup is using him in the leadership role, at least in my opinion. I think having him in the leadership role probably is the best use of him as a character. Yeah, I think that's the best use of him. Now I don't know where. Oh, there she is. So that's the way I tend to like to run my team for Thor. I've run him on other ways, so I'm getting the benefits from using um, Jane Foster. So she's applies to allies with shock abilities. I'm getting debuff from her, and then Thor because of his ability for lightning resist and his artifact. So don't do this if you don't have his artifact. But I'm using that setup because of his artifact. So we're gonna use. This is my team here. I don't know why I still have Black Widow there. Beast Mode Gaming put out a really great video about Black Widow as well, so go check that out. Now, this should be easy work for Thor. He's an absolute destroyer. I'm only running him on 2, so just be aware of that. I don't really need to run him on anything else. Like I said, this is child's play for Thor. Come on, Gorr. Give it to me, Gorr. And let's see. Let's hope I don't get killed here. There we go. Oh, wow. Gorr tried to stun on me just now. Oh, shit. I got trapped. But he's not enough. Sorry, Gorr. Oh, damn. He caught me. I can't believe I let him catch me. All right, let's redo that. I want to try that again. I can't believe I let him catch me. But shit like that could happen. So it is what it is. But all right, let me not mess around this one. So the rotation I use for Thor, I don't know if everybody uses this rotation. is I go five, delay cancel, then go three into four, and then I just kind of let that ride out because that's all that's really needed. I'm a little mad now. I let Gorr defeat me there. There we go. For safety sakes, I'm just gonna rotate out here real quick because I don't want to do this the third time and get caught. This is really more easier than it appears. It's just making it difficult for no reason. Like those are just pretty easy to dodge, and then these are pretty easy to dodge as well. Stay close to him, and you don't really have a problem. And let's defeat this guy. Gorr, why you run from me, Gorr? Come on, come back. All right. And so you can see basically from playing World Boss Legend, you can accomplish this and get his bios. So that's five bios for the day. That means I'll unlock him tomorrow after I play five more bios. Now, here goes the important part that I want some people to understand. I agree 100% with Beast Mode, right? In that you want to be pushing the later stages, mostly because if you push for the higher stages for World Boss Legend, you get better rewards at tiers like 5, tiers 10, tiers 15. So every 5 levels, you basically get better rewards. They're conqueror level rewards that you can get from boxes. And leaving some of these, you're leaving items on the table if you don't start working towards them. Typically, I will wait till I hit about, till I hit that conqueror level. This is the conqueror level that I'm looking at, but there's rewards for stage 5. So I hit about conqueror level 50, and then I'll start progressing in those stages. Realistically, if you're just looking at the daily rewards that you need to get, though, like in terms of, what you're going to get from just playing the boss, those main rewards that you're getting, you only really need to get to stage 2. So, like, you can get the same level of rewards. The same level of rewards that you get at stage 2 is the same level of rewards that you'll get at stage 50. The only difference is those different stages, like when you hit 5, 10, and so forth every 5 levels. But otherwise, you really only need to do it at 2. Keep in mind that a lot of times when you see your favorite YouTubers that are doing this stuff and you see those, they're showing you builds basically for the characters, and you're a new player, you got to remember that their world boss level stuff is also different from yours. Like the fact that they own so many characters, is different than yours. So there's other things that will prevent you from just having a Gorr that's day one Gorr that is going to make him a great character inside the game as well, because they're getting a lot of stats from their raid level. You can see I'm like raid level 722. I'm getting a bunch of stats from my raid level onto my character. I'm getting a bunch of stats from the characters that I own as well. And then on top of that, my conqueror level is giving my resist and my valor a better ability. So you want to pay attention to that, because just because you see Cynic Alex, Moonbro, Beast Mode, these guys jump in here with day one builds, doesn't mean that you, the new player, are going to be able to accomplish that same stuff with the same character, with the same build. It still might be a little bit more difficult for you. So just be aware of that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Trying something new with with recording my mobile games directly on my phone. And I hope you guys enjoy. I hope the quality is there. Until next time, peace.